Morning. It's a chilly, about 15 degrees, I think. But as you can see, it's not a very nice day. It's cloudy. Feels like it's going to rain any minute. It says it's not, but it feels like it. But since today's a bit of a shit day, I'll take the opportunity to talk about the differences between the board I'm currently on and the board I'd rather be on. But I can't be on because it's got a problem again. So first of all, the board I'm not on. Right. Nix Z1. It had a problem recently with an ESC fault. So basically it just wouldn't work. ESK8 very kindly resolved that for me by sending out a new ESC. There's a whole video about it. Look, up there somewhere. Which brings me on to the current issue it's got, which is with the motor. It's making a sort of grinding sound. It sounds like there's something loose in it. Now what I think it is, I think the bearings come loose. Or one of them anyway. But I sent a video off to ESK8. I'm waiting to see what they say before I actually start kind of strip it and rip things apart. Which is a bit of a bummer because I'm off next week and I was sort of planning on maybe going for a nice long ride on it, do a range test on it, go some places I've not been, get some different footage so it's not always just the same, me riding down the same path on my way to work. But that might not happen now because I can't ride it with that motor grinding like that because it's probably just going to do more damage. So that's where that one is. So I've had to dig out the old one, which is this one I'm currently on, the old Maxfind AT-FF. This was my first electric skateboard. It's done well over 1,000 miles now. It's probably on about, I don't know, 1,080 odd. So this board is now nicknamed Old Faithful because it just works. The new board has now got the nickname Problem Child because this is the second major problem I've had with it, and I've only had it since November and it's now June, so 7 months, coming up on 8. So yeah, it's a little bit disappointing, but you know, these things happen. As long as I can get it fixed, that's all I'm worried about, getting it fixed without it costing the end of the earth. I mean, I could just buy a new motor and replace it, but that's like, I think the actual ESK8 motors are like $250 direct from them. I mean, technically, as long as I can find a motor that actually fits and the output's sort of the same, because I know it's got something to do with the output of the motor needs to match the ESC and all that kind of stuff. there's more people who know more stuff about this than I do that I can ask to make sure I do the right thing. But I'm kind of hoping it is just a loose bearing, and like take it out, maybe swap it for, I'm kind of hoping maybe a ceramic one. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. I didn't really want to talk about the problems with that one. I wanted to talk about the differences. So this board is hub motor. So the motors are inside the rear wheels. They're hard rubber tyres. The deck is quite stiff. Probably not the best place to do that. But there is a bit of flex in it, but there's not a lot. It's double kingpin, so you can play around. I did used to have it really soft, actually, really soft. Well, really soft on the road side, a little bit stiffer on the thingy wood side, but since I've been riding the other one, I've had to put stiffer bushings in to get what I used to. I've got their original ones in, which I can't remember what geometry they are, but I think they're like, they're either 85s or 90s, I think. I can't remember. I'm going to say 90s because they are a lot firmer than the other ones I've got. I think I was down to like 75 on the board, on the roadside. They're really weird. So when I first stepped on this after riding the other one, it was really different. Right, so what does that mean compared to the other one? The other one is mountain board style. It's got shock blocks instead of bushings. It's got pneumatic tyres instead of hardware in it, and it's got gear drive. So, first thing is the noise. This thing is pretty much silent. So what you can probably hear, apart from the wind, is the sound of the actual tyres on the road. You don't hear any sound from the motor whatsoever. If I put the power up to level 3, I think I'm in 2 at the minute, because I'm not in any particular rush. Put the power up to 3 and full throttle it, then you do get a little bit of motor whine, and obviously in 4 as well you get a bit more. But if you run along like this in 2, the only sound is the sound of the tyres running on the road. That's it. That's the only sound you get. It's not as stable. Well, that's probably because the wheels are not as far apart, because these are 13-inch, I think. 13-inch wide trucks. And the other one is like 18, so it's not as stable on the road. You have to balance a bit more, especially when you're like stood still on it. So it's easier to hop off than to stand still on this, which leads me to another point. The other board has bindings, so although you can step out of it, sometimes it's just not worth it. Whereas this one, you just hop off, hop on. The bindings, you've got to put your foot in, turn it. It's an extra step. I know it's like first world problems, but that's what it is. Oh, they've actually been along and cut along here. Just need to do the rest of it so I can actually see down the sides now. But anyway, the other difference, the tyres and the stiff deck on nature of this, you can feel every single little bump on the road. And after a while, after a couple of miles, your feet do start to feel the vibrations and they start to hurt a little bit. It's the other board because it's got the pneumatic tyres, and the way but I don't know if you this is where I slipped off yesterday because I wasn't paying attention. Take that one a little carefully. yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, because of the way the trucks are mounted to the board, because they're at an angle, they take a bit more flex going that way. The board's a lot more flexible. But basically, the ride's more comfy on the Ace deck. It's nowhere near as harsh on your feet as this one is. But so what does that? Almost bit the post. Let's get across this road first. We'll carry on. So this is what I was talking about. Sometimes if you're going to be stood there waiting for a while, it's easier just to hop off. And you can pick this one up because, oh, that's the other thing, it's a lot lighter. It's like 10 kilos lighter. It's a significant difference. Oh, okay, this one hasn't got anywhere near the range. It's got like half the range. And the motors aren't as powerful. But you can feel the difference in the weight. You can pick this one up one hand quite easy. Whereas the other one, no, it is heavy. It's one of the biggest downsides to that board. It is heavy. But that's the pros and cons of it. Right, so let's get back on. Let's get moving. So, where was I? Oh yeah, what does it mean in terms of feel? I think the two biggest things that you notice between these two boards is the stability and the comfort. This board is a lot more responsive at low speed. I could not carve like this at, where am I doing, what, about 5 miles an hour? I couldn't do this on the other board. It just wouldn't do it. You need a bit of momentum to get that board moving. It just doesn't work at low speed, which is why it has the binding, so you can properly get your whole body weight into it. But yeah, the stability, it's a lot better on the X deck. It's a lot more better. It gives you more confidence. This one, I do feel like I need to concentrate a bit more when riding it, just to make sure I'm going in the right direction. The comfort as well. I mean, I've done what, 2 miles on this, and I can feel the pull in the back of my calves, and I can feel the vibrations starting to wear on my feet a little bit. So, although it's not bad, like I say, if I hop off the board and just wait like 2 minutes, it's fine. You just start again. And the other advantage is I can always hop off and ride switch for a little while if I want. Whereas I can't really do that on the other board because of the bindings. But I don't have to do that on the other board because it's more comfy. The other board can probably go about twice, if not 3 times further before I get the same sort of feeling. Thank you. Yeah, and going back to confidence, I would normally accelerate hard up this little bit with the ace deck, whereas here it's more gentle. So there is that as well. It's a little bit more. So, you know, which is better? Well, you know, it's apples and oranges. I mean, there are places I would take this board that I wouldn't take the ace deck. If I was going to go and jump on a train and I needed something just to ride like a mile or so, I would take this one. Purely because it's a lot lighter, a lot more manoeuvrable, a lot more easy to manage. I have a backpack that can take a board, that you can strap a board into. I would be happy strapping this into this backpack and carrying it. Couldn't do that with the other one. Not hoping hell's chance. That being said though, the other board is more comfortable, it's more stable. I can go faster, more comfortably on it. I couldn't do the same sort of speeds that I do on the other board on this one without being comfortable. This is a comfort zone. I mean, all right, I'm probably going a little bit slower because I'm not concentrating because I'm talking. So I'm probably not going as quick as I would be, but it's not by much. It's only a couple of miles an hour, so this is sort of quite comfortably. I feel in control. You know, if some dog just suddenly ran out in front of me, I can either avoid it or brake in time, and it's fine. But it's 10. Well, maybe not quite 10. Well, it is at the minute. At the minute, I'm going about 10 miles an hour slower than what I would be. Well, actually, no, probably not through this bit. Probably the best example is this bit coming up this little straightaway. When I get around this corner and I can see clearly, depending if there's doggos or not, you'd normally accelerate away on this little bit. Yeah, normally I'd probably going twice as quick as I'm going now. Whereas, although you can do it on this board, I wouldn't feel confident in doing it. So what does all that mean? Well, it just means you've got to try and nail down your own personal preference. You've got to try and figure out what you want, what you need. Sometimes those two things aren't always the same thing. I see a lot of people looking at how fast does it go, and it's like it's not all about that, because you can have a board that does 40 miles an hour. You can't do 40 miles an hour down the path like this. Well, you can, but you're an idiot if you do, because you're gonna hit somebody. You know, because there's no way you could accumulate it. And this thing's still here. I wonder if that's just been abandoned, you know. You can order in 3, 2, 1, sink. So. Yeah, so carrying on from where we left off before. You've got to pick the one that's right for you and what you need it to do. Compare it to buying a car. You know, if you needed a car that would go and carry a load of stuff around, you're not going to buy a small little hatchback, are you? You're going to get a van or a pickup. Same applies with this. It's got to be right for you and what your needs are. I'm not even going to get into like the legal side of it. There is a lot more emphasis on how fast does it go, or how much power has it got. Well, it's irrelevant. I say it's irrelevant because it all comes down to the thing. If this board would only go this fast, for example, I'd hate it. But no, you've got to pick. You've got to get the one that's right for you. And how do you decide that when you've never, you know, unless you've already ridden a load before, you're lucky enough to know some people who have got some different ones that you can try out. But not everybody's blessed like that. So, well, let's go through the options. The first thing is you find a local group to you. You know, if you turn up there and you're like pleasant and nice to them and don't come across as a dick or someone who's going to jump on a board and steal it, you know, I'm pretty sure there'll be some people there who will let you have a go with theirs. You know, there might be some people there who are selling some, because some people have more than one board. Like me, I've got two. Now I probably wouldn't sell this one because, as I said earlier on, I'm riding this one today because the other one's knackered. Well, it's not knackered, it's got something that a wearable part that's worn out. Let's put it that way. So it's just I wasn't expecting it to have worn out so quickly. But hey ho, we'll see. But yeah, so yeah, somebody might have one that they're thinking of selling that you like. Hey presto, so but ESK8 is not as big. Oh,
sorry. I just didn't know.
I didn't know which way you were going either. Right, where was I? Yeah. So, yeah, somebody might have one that you like it and you can get it at a reasonable, decent price. Just get past these doggos. Ugh. It's going to be one of them days today, isn't it? Hey-ho. Going up behind you. Yeah, so, right, you haven't got a local group that you can go and try. I suppose your next best option is what I did, which was you do a lot of research. Forums, YouTube videos, all that kind of stuff is invaluable. It'll give you, although you'll never quite know what the board is like until you're actually on it. It can give you a good idea. So just, like again, just stay away from the things like how fast does it go, because realistically, I mean, I think this thing's got a top speed of 27 mile an hour. Am I ever going to ride it at 27 mile an hour? Am I bollocks? I reckon this one I'll top out at about 18-20 mile an hour. That's as fast as I dare go on this one. The other one, it's got a rated top speed for 37 mile an hour. I'm never going to go 37 mile an hour on it. Sort of 20 to 25. I think I have peaked it out to about 28. And then that's when all the speed bubbles start. So, you know, you've got to ask yourself, realistically, are you going to do that? Now, if they change the rules and say, right, you can have them, but you've got to ride them on the road, then, yeah, 30 mile an hour, keeping up with traffic, becomes a bit of a necessity. Because I think you're even more vulnerable on these on a road than you would be on a bike. I certainly wouldn't want to ride this on a main road. Quiet road, you know, with the odd occasional car going past it, yeah, fine, could do that. But I wouldn't want to ride it, for example, on the type of road that I'm coming up to here now. Good up behind you. While we wait for traffic, well, I suppose the big thing you got to think about is, where are you going to be riding it? And for how long? You know, if you're going to be riding on super smooth tarmac roads, but you're only doing it as like a last mile option, you know, like you're commuting and you're going on a train or something, but then you work like a mile away from the train station, or you live a mile away from the train station, then something like this would be a great option. I mean, you could even go for ones that have got the smaller wheels if you know for a fact that it's going to be nice smooth roads and everything. Then yeah, by all means, if you know you're not going to get any debris. I'm making a right fucking meal of this. I just want to get around the corner while I'm talking. That's what happens when I try and do two things at once. Yeah, think about the type of surfaces you're going to ride on. This surface right now, it's not the best. I mean, you could go on here with normal skateboard wheels. You could do it. Probably couldn't do it in the winter. That's the other thing you have to think about, depending where you are, what sort of, like, how wet it's going to be, how icy it's going to be, how cold it's going to be. You know, I ride all year round. There's clips of me riding, not this one, I wouldn't ride this one on the snow and ice, but I rode the other one on the snow and ice. It was alright actually, it was quite good, but some people might go, nah, not for me. I'm only going to ride it in like late spring, summer, early autumn, when the weather's nice. I mean, here in the UK, it's pretty much, you can pretty much set your clock by it. It's like late October, literally when the clocks go back, and then again when the clocks go forward, the weather's just shit. You might get the odd day here and there where it's nice, but most of the time then no. From November, December and into January, you've got wet leaves all over the place, which is probably the worst thing you can ride on. Then January, February, we've got snow and ice. And then it doesn't really get, and then March, April, it can be very wet. So, I mean, it has been very wet this year, but I mean, it's been raining. I mean, we had a mild winter, but it was raining like all the way through January, but a lot of February. March saw quite a bit, April saw quite a bit. So yeah, it's, you got to take these things into mind. These boards do not respond well to the wet. To as far as the point I'd say is, if you know it's going to be raining, don't ride on them. If you live in a country like the UK where the weather's very changeable, yes, you can get caught out. I've been caught out several times. But if I know it, if I'm sort of 99% certain that it's going to rain at some point that day, I probably won't go on the board. Especially if I know it's going to be heavy. Because it's not even so much about riding it when it's raining, it's having all the puddles on the floor that you have to ride through. This one's not too bad, but the other board kicks up a load of spray that you wouldn't believe. I'll put that over my shoulder for a minute. Yeah, so it gets that's the other thing, you've got to think about these things, not just speed and power. Well, range. That's the thing a lot of people overlook. If you need a board that'll do, say you live, let's say you live, do some quick sums, let's say you live 9 miles from work. You need 9 miles there, 9 miles back with a little bit of gear weight. So you need a board that'll do 20 miles. This will do 17. Unless you're going to charge it up at work, which is an option. You just need to take your charger with you. It's not the worst in the world you can carry. It's certainly better than carrying around extra batteries, which is another option with this, because the battery compartment, yeah, but no one wants to be carrying batteries around because they're heavy. Yeah, range, and I suppose accompanied to that as well, it's charge time. If your board only comes with a 2 or 3 amp charger, it's going to take 4 or 5 hours to charge up. So if you want to go out, ride, charge it up, go out riding again, you're going to have to think about that. So, like I say, this one will do 17. The other board will do, well, I've not actually tested it yet, but I reckon it'll do probably at least double. I reckon it's good for 30 miles, I reckon. But the trade-off with that is it's almost twice as heavy. Like I say, this board I can pick it up with one hand, no problem. The other one, no way I could pick it up with one hand. I have to use 2. other things you need to consider. The other things I was talking about before, comfort. You know, okay, I've just finished work, I've been on my feet for 8 hours, but my feet are starting to hurt. Again, I've probably ridden, what, about a mile and a half? And my feet are hurting. And my calves are starting to stretch out. So much so, I'm actually going to stop. Oh, stretch my calves out. Yeah, so if you want comfort, pneumatic tyres are probably a given. Probably stay away from single kingpin trucks. Double ones are slightly better. Yeah, so that's another thing you got to consider. Another thing you got to consider is what happens when it breaks. It's like me, if I order any parts, if I ordered, I think it's the bearings that have gone in the motor. If I ordered them from ESK8, they'd take 2 weeks to get here. Now, I've emailed them and asked them for the sizes. They've sent me the sizes, I've ordered some, they're coming tomorrow. Yeah, so they're coming tomorrow, and I'm kind of hoping, if I don't, might even start it tomorrow, start stripping that motor apart to have a look, see if it is. So I'm going to have to do both motors, because ideally I want the board working again for next week. It'd be great if it does. So that might be a weekend project, but it's also my Saturday in this week, so that might be a bit of an issue. But yeah, where do you service parts? As far as I know, there are only 2 companies in this country that have service centres. That's Tramper, because they're based here, and Evolve apparently has a service centre down in London. So I mean, it's not most of the boards come from China, and a lot of the better company ones, they're pretty good on the whole customer service front. But it is, a 2 week turnaround for parts to get here. 10 days to 2 weeks. It's